Sit in the front. Yeah, of course. See, you're not even alone. Shabbat Shalom. How is everybody tonight? Y'all good? All right, I get the thumbs up. I love it. All right. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. There are some faces I don't recognize, so I'm going to introduce myself. First, I'm Deb Rogers. I'm the cantorial soloist here. And I want to first tell you that Rabbi Van sends her greetings from camp. She is at summer camp for the next 2 weeks, not as a camper, but, you know, as a rabbi. And she is at Gucci in Indiana, in Zionsville, Indiana. Go every year. So, yeah, watch that cutout for me. So anyway, she sends her regards, and tonight it's me, and you'll also hear from Susan Merdler, who is around here somewhere. She will be up here. She's going to offer the debar tonight. So, without further ado, let's get into the Shabbat mood. So let's take some of those wonderful deep breaths that we've started doing to get ourselves into the Shabbat groove. Go ahead and breathe in. And as you get that air in there, think of all the crazy that happened this week, and then start to breathe it out. Not going to lie, this is one of my favorite parts of the week. All right, now this time when you breathe in the wonderful air that's around you and the beauty of community. Hold on to that for a moment, and then breathe that out. And let's breathe in the beautiful, wondrous part of the week, which is Shabbat, and take that into ourselves and hold that one. And exhale any last bit of stuff that you need to get rid of so you can settle into Shabbat together. So tonight, we, as always, are going to start with music. And we're going to start with one you all know to get you all in the groove. Since I'm up here alone, I need the support of all the singing that I know you guys can do. So let's start with Hine Matov, which you will find on page 10. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, ya la 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 la. Hine matov, ya la 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 la. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. I would like us to get ready to light our candles tonight. As has become our tradition, one of our silver learnings from the pandemic, we have in the back, we have candles. People enjoyed lighting candles so much on Shabbat that we've incorporated it into our service. So I invite any and all of you to go back. There are many, many pairs of candlesticks to light those candles with us. And I will start with a reading which can be found on page 3. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. The heaven and earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on that day God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila למקרא הקודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים. Our opening reading is not found in your book. It's written by Alden Solovey. We have been enjoying a lot of Alden's poems over the years. I know that he's one of Rabbi's favorite. I love the words he uses, so I'm going to share some tonight as well. This one is called Shabbat is the Place. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet, without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come. Please rise in body or in spirit and join me in the Baruch Hu, which you will find on page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vahed. Join me together on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Turn to page 32 for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. The V'ahavta is on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibata bam, beshivdecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayuletotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam Amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. Give me one moment for a battery swap. Okay. Let's continue on page 39. We're going to read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef peleh, Nora tehilot, osef peleh, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. We're going to continue on page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over your Jerusalem and ours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 service continues on page 44 with the singing of Vishamru. This is our song that's reminding us of our prayer, reminding us of the covenant, the promise we made. You're going to hear a little more about promises later, but the promise we made to keep Shabbat because God worked for 6 days and rested on the seventh, and therefore we will too, because we are made in God's image. So we need to do that resting as well. Let's do it. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Bein Yuvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yomim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. We're moving on to the tefillah, the main portion of prayer in our service, also called the Amidah, from the root that means to stand. So I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we turn to the tefillah, which begins on page 46 and continues straight through page 52. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Chozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukedoshim b'chol yom yehallelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. Page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. And may all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue now with Shalom Rav on page 60. This is our prayer for peace, not just for ourselves and our community, but for Israel and in fact for all the world. Tasim le'olam, for the entire world. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech hador, lekol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech hador, lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. Bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. Tasim le'olam, Tasim le'olam. We're moving now into our healing prayer. I am going to share a reading with you that's not in the book. It's by Tara Cox. It's called A Healing Earth. Come lay upon dawn's cool grass as the day is newly forming. Open your soul and breathe in the moist elixir of morning. Bask in the circle of light that rejuvenates and warms after the rains of sorrow have gone with passing storms. And as this golden hour survives life's ebbs and flows, let your heart unfold like the many-petaled rose. We're going to continue with our prayer for healing. As my hand crosses the congregation, if you have a name that you would like to share, please don't hesitate to do so. For those of you who are watching online, we hope that you will also share any names that you would like us to lift up in prayer in the chat. We continue with the Misha Berach. It's found in the middle of page 253. Makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheverachimotenu, Makor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We now take a moment for silent prayer and reflection. Shalom bimramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. I would like to invite forward Susan Merdler, who's going to offer a Dvar Torah for us today. Appreciate you covering. I always enjoy hearing what she has to say. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, you take this and I'll work on that. How about that? Oh, it's the stand. I'm sorry. You got it.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat.
Every summer, we share Rabbi Van with Goldman Union Camp Institute, Gucci summer camp. This is a wonderful experience for the campers and no doubt for her as well. In Rabbi's absence, Shabbat services continue with the help of our temple staff and congregants. This Shabbat, I am the congregant responsible for tonight's Torah portion, which is Matot Masai. I was interested in the idea of a promise as expressed in Numbers chapter 30, verses 2 and 3. It states, Moses spoke to the heads of the Israelite tribes, saying, "This is what the Eternal has commanded. If a person makes a vow to the Eternal or takes an oath, imposing an obligation on himself, he shall not break his pledge. He must carry out all that has crossed his lips." In a nutshell, this Torah portion talks about making a vow as commanded by God, whether it be to God or to oneself, a vow that cannot be broken. How can we understand a vow? We can start with a list of synonyms: promise, bond, word of honor, pledge, covenant. With these words, we come to understand a vow is a contract made between two parties or a bond from one to the other. When Rabbi Van asked me if I would like to do the Dvar Torah and I accepted, I was making a vow, a promise, a contract made between two parties. That was the easy part. Getting my thoughts on one pathway was not as easy, but I made a promise, so here goes. We can deepen our understanding of vows by looking at references to promises throughout the Torah. Here are 3 examples. No doubt we are all familiar with the story of Noah and the ark. And God said to Noah and his sons, "I will keep my covenant with you and your descendants, and never again will a flood destroy all life. This is the sign I am making, testifying to the covenant between me and you and all living souls forever. I have put my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between myself and the world." I find it interesting to note in Noah's covenant, the promise of the rainbow is a sign, a promise between God and the world, not just the chosen people, not just those in nearby lands, not just people like themselves, but all inhabitants of the world. Perhaps this rainbow, a beautiful part of nature, is for the observer to think about how each of us are responsible for the promises we make too. Another example is a ritual that is important and continues to this day. While Abraham was journeying from Canaan, God commanded Abraham to circumcise himself and all Jewish boys after him. In return, God promised Abraham that he would unify the Jewish people and make them an example for others to follow. We make this ceremony of Brit Milah a joyous celebration for most, with family and friends in attendance to share in the promise, the contract made by our forefathers. If you are involved in our tent, our Sunday learning program for all ages, each class designs a Brit, a contract, between each learner, which with suggestions of respect, patience, and understanding of our fellow learners. The promises made between the learner hang in front of the classroom for the entire trimester. A third reference occurs twice in the Torah, the 10 Commandments. These are promises for ethical behavior in our lives, acting as a guiding principle of right and wrong. What we've learned in the Torah is that promises are very important. We also know that we make promises all the time. How are we at making and keeping our promises? How much meaning is behind them? Think back to your younger self. Maybe you recall saying, "I promise, Mom, I'll clean my room when I get home." Or, "I promise, if you get me a dog, I'll take care of it." These are hastily made promises with little meaning behind them. As time moved forward and maturity progressed, I'd like to think we thought differently about our promises. How are you fulfilling your promises? Do you need to reevaluate any of them? Do you have more promises that you want to make? Our promises, our vows, our covenants can be wide and varied and can be accomplished through giving of time, giving of financial support, and truly giving of ourselves. Returning to the Torah portion for this Shabbat, I think the verse would be impactful if we made a few changes. Moses spoke to the heads of the Israelite tribe, saying, "This is what the Eternal has commanded. If a person makes a vow to the Eternal or takes an oath imposing an obligation on themselves, they shall not break their pledge. They must carry out all that has crossed their lips and all that has touched their heart." Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Susan. I don't know. Should we let Rabbi come back? That was really good. Thank you. It's also our custom to have a song that complements the sermon, and Susan made my job easy. She selected one that I think fits perfectly about the covenant between Abraham and God, and so we're gonna. I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi loch, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi loch. Lechi loch, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi loch, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi loch. You shall be a blessing. 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 Lechi loch. We turn now to the Aleinu, which is on page 283. And we touch on page 286 also. Please rise in body or in spirit. And we read together. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo U'shemo echad. You may be seated. The memorial reading is not in your book. It's called Life After Death. These things I know, how the living go on living, and how the dead go on living with them, so that in a forest even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through those cracks. And the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it, and in the spring, the rabbits find it and build their nest inside that dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love. On this Shabbat, we remember in Shiva, in the first week since their death, Michael Wager. In Shloshim, in the first month since their death, we remember Warren Nemiroff. And we mark the anniversaries of death, the yahrzeits that fall on this Shabbat. Bertie Schwartz Anthony, Ben W. Bayman, Charles C. Coleman, Patricia W. Crystal, Martin A. Davis, Manuel H. Eisner, Sarah N. Feldman, Emma Lerner Fisher, Ruben Freiberg, Lorraine Klinger Friedman, Walter A. Friedman, Maurice M. Gardner, Carolyn Kahn Grossman, Bertha Bateman Herzog, Donald Jacobson, Ida Jaffe, Morris Jaffe, Belle Wolf Kahn, David S. Cohn, Jeffrey Korach, Byron Krantz, Arthur Lefkowitz, May Lieberman, James Mahler, Hortense Handel Meyer, Edgerton R. Parker, Peter F. Rosian, Evelyn K. Royce, Richard Leon Royce, Melville Samet, Manuel C. Schenkel, Flora Bernstein Siegel, Elaine Siegel, Milton Stiller, Elsie P. Stoddard, Ronald B. Thrope, Philip Weiss, Erwin Yaris. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as together we turn to the mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Please rise in body or in spirit. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirite v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brilchu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, Amen. You can be seated. I would like to invite up, I believe it's Ellen Weber, right? Come on up for some announcements. Are you comfortable coming up or would you? Okay.
Thank you for asking. Can everybody hear me? Am I good? Okay, thanks. Thank you, Deb Rogers, as ever, for leading the service tonight. And thank you, Susan, there you are. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. It's hard to do, and we appreciate it. Tonight's Bima Flowers were sponsored by the families of Leslie Royce Resnick and Constance Royce Reed in loving memory of their parents, Evelyn and Richard Royce. And as always, thank you to the dedicated STKA staff and leadership. So we need your vote for the August 8th election. If you haven't already done it, and you should have gotten a mailing, if we did it right, there are vote by mail ballots in the front lobby. Please pick one up, fill it out, and send it in right away. Vote by mail applications must be received by August 1st. And obviously, if you don't do that and you choose to go vote, great. Early voting has already started, or go down to your local voting place on August 8th. There will be a postcard writing party here to get the word out to vote this coming Thursday, July 20th at 7 o'clock here at STKA. Please call or email Rochelle to volunteer. We're just going to come and sit in camaraderie, I guess, and write postcards and try and encourage people to come out and vote. Just a reminder that summer gatherings are happening. STKA gatherings are members who get together with shared interests, such as Foodies Unite, outdoor yoga, hike and kibitz, and game night. Information is on the website. You can also call the office to register, and everyone is welcome to attend. And for the first time, all our gatherings are gathering in one place. Join gatherings July 23rd at Blossom for Who Could Ask for Anything More? And click to connect on the website, contact the office, check it out, call anybody who's involved, Ellen Ross, who runs the whole shebang, and we'll be glad to welcome you. It's back. Deb's Summer Music Parody Shabbat. Endless Summer will be next Friday, July 21st. Come drift away with us on the dock of the bay. It won't be a waste of time. Lyrics will be provided so you can sing along. Bring a friend and wear your favorite Hawaiian shirt. Is that required, Deb? I don't
It's
think
not
I own one.
required, it's just
Encouraged.
Yes.
Lastly, open doors mailings have gone out. Pledge your support, give what you can, sustain us all year. If you have not received yours, please let Rochelle know. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thank you, Ellen. So you'll never guess who wrote that announcement about next week's Shabbat. So in honor of that, I thought I might get us started. Our closing song is Adon Olam. This is not the one that we're doing next week, though. You say that singing along with a parody makes you smile. I say that summertime's perfect for playing, 'cause it's been a while. Come next week, let's go to the beach, or better, let's bring it to us with summertime songs. Now back to tonight, 'cause we still have to sing one more song on page 321. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'cheptzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yiyeh B'tifara Adon Olam Asher Malach Da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. אחד ואין שני להמשילו, להמשילו, להחמירה. בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, מלוא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, בצור חבלי בעת צרה, ואוליסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. אדוני עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נעשה בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא. בידו עתיד רוחי, בעת תישן וירא, ואם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא ירא. דה 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 da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Everybody, ya da 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 ya da 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 da. And thanks to Cantor Ozzy Schwartz for writing this version. Ya da 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 ya da da da. Please rise for the benediction. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha bichunecha. May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yis Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom, ve'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift God's countenance to you and grant you the gift of shalom, peace. Shabbat shalom. And before we separate for the oneg, let's do a quick motzi for the folks at home and for us. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon and Shabbat Shalom.